Looking out my back door. G'day Ashes, what's happening mate? Happy Wednesday to you, Obakanova. It is a beautiful Wednesday indeed. Always well, mate. Always well. I think we will do this. You could have it all. My empire of dirt. I will make you hurt. All right. So I have no plan. I have no idea in my head what to do with this figure. So I'm open to some suggestions, friends, for how we approach this little goblin. We could go a very traditional goblin style goblin with green skin and what have you, which could be interesting. Rusty metal scale mail. Or we could try something a bit different. I think we may go for a traditional goblin colour palette. Green, I do love painting green. But add a little bit of like humanoid skin tone. G'day Shadow Uvro. Yeah, I feel like that might be interesting. And then yeah, I think we will go for rusty metal. So let's try something. You could have it all, but my empire of dirt. I'll make you hurt. I think, ooh, that's an interesting colour. Dark green, cool. For fluorescent yellow. What others we got? Fluorescent green. Cool. Let's try some of these. Good day today. It's always a good day when you get to start a Lucas penis sculpt, isn't it? Very enthusiastic about that. I'm just grabbing some greens here, friends. I haven't really decided how we're going to approach the green yet. I do know this colour is very cool. Oh, mix it with your thing, dickhead. Cool. I'll do us for the moment. Some of these ones. So let's try. Let's try for a slightly desaturated green base coat. Haven't really got much exciting to talk about since my last stream was on Monday, so you're just going to have to amuse yourselves watching me paint this model and enjoy every second of it, because it's a Lucas Pena sculpt, and you all know how I feel about Lucas Pena's magnificence. Oh, his ears. I forgot his ears. I tell you what, this little guy, he's cute as fuck, but I wish he wasn't on this figure. For no reason other than I just want this angry goblin. With his angry armor. I don't want this little guy hugging his ear, being like, I'm the best! We'll grab a little bit of Signal Blue, which is a dark blue. Use that for a little mixing with this green to create a very intense saturated green colour for some lazy bits. Spider-Man comes out tomorrow for us here in Australia at least, but I'm not going to see it until Friday night. I'm quite excited for it. finally we'll be able to lay to bed the rest of the rumours about Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Charlie Cox, all the bros. I believe the overwhelming consensus at the moment is yes, they are absolutely in the movie. But they've done a magnificent job at keeping that information tight-lipped. Okay, celery. Yeah, it's bizarre to me, but I feel like I haven't seen as many of these painted as I would have expected. Feels like it should be the piece that everyone wants to paint this year. That's just how I feel about these sculpts, these angry sculpts. Sculpt more angry dudes, Lucas. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Unreal. The last Lucas sculpt that I painted, what was it? I know I did the Dwarf Miner earlier in the year. Have I done one since then? Sheep Rider and Dwarf Miner were around the same time. Kev, I agree with you, but at the same time I disagree with you. Part of the reason why they're as magnificent as they are is they are limited, and if you miss out, you miss out. But I will say that I only feel that way because he changed his approach recently. It used to be he'd say, I'm doing 300 of these, and you literally had to get up and set your alarm, for my case, to be able to guarantee getting one. And now he just goes, cool, I'll sell as many as people want to buy. You got 24 hours to buy it. I think that's a much more adaptable way, flexible way of ensuring that people get it and so forth. Did I do wise woman? G'day, Mini MF. Was that afterwards? Yeah, that was just before I did Camelot. So yeah, I've done Wise Woman, Sheep Rider, this Goblin, the Miner, the Witch with the Cauldron, all done these this year. Awesome, man. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do if I could paint for 6 months. Wouldn't be a happy guy. I've just been pretty lucky the last few years. Been able to do my thing, enjoy my life, paint my soldiers. Girlfriend's been pretty cool with it. Did you enjoy the, how far into the first book are you? Because I feel like I've been obviously watching the show and reflecting on the books, and I'm thinking it's probably time for me to do a reread. Yeah. And I remember the first 3 books as being exciting, action-packed, not as polished as some of the later books. I think he improved as a writer over the course of the series, but I do think that those books are really exciting, action-packed. The later ones tend to get a little bit bogged down in minutiae, and I think he was a dude who was really excited about creating his world and imagining all the wonderful things that happened in it, and some plot lines that just go nowhere. In the series, like just literally, you read fucking probably 15 chapters, 20 chapters about characters that have no relevance to the plot. Nothing. That's like chapters, books 8, 9, 10, 11, those ones. Yeah, 1 through 6, in the Wheel of Time, up there with some of the best fantasy books ever written. Particularly 4, 5, 6. I feel like they're, where the series really hits its stride. Oh well, hope you enjoy it, mate. You can have it all, my empire of dirt. I'm enjoying the show. I'm not enjoying social media and the amount of people that are blowing up about, oh, I changed it from the books. Why couldn't you just keep it like the books? Fuck off. G'day, Buckers. We'll be asking you to join on stream later on if you're willing and able. If that's because you think I'm a Bobby Dazzler, I'm very pleased with that nickname. So friends, I was outrageously happy with Thanatos and how she ended up. As is tradition for Big Dene, when I reach the end of a project I'm really happy with, upload that bad boy to Putty and Paint. I think people think it sucks. Why do you think it sucks? It's fucking awesome. I'm the man. You people are wrong. GYG. I actually had burgers myself. I had grilled, so. Yeah, sounds like burgers is the go then, mate. Yeah. Yeah. I reckon if I did everything that people recommended, you know, eat fucking 2 cups of vegetables a day and exercise for 30 minutes a day and, you know, drink 3 litres of water a day, 1 glass of wine a day, you know, only a little bit of red meat a day, take vitamins every day, don't sit down for fucking 12 hours every day. How would you find the time to work? That's what I want to know. How do you find the time to actually have a fucking career? Some super fun facts. I just got in an email from Twitch. Got an email from Twitch just before, telling me about my 2021, my highlights. This is the first year that I've actually streamed on Twitch, so I wasn't aware they did this, but it's quite cool. Let me go through them in a moment. gone a bit yellow here, but that's okay because we are going to airbrush. And that's fine. That's right. I'm checking my thing. Hang on. I'm too much of a traditionalist, mate. I was too excited that this was like an old Warhammer Fantasy Goblin. I was thinking to myself, oh, you know, should I paint this in a different colour? Should I paint it to, you know, try and be cool and be a cool painter? And nah, it's a Goblin. Goblins are green. Do. My empire of dirt. He looks like an old goblin, actually. Looks like quite weather beaten and carved up. Alright. A little bit of ice yellow in my life. A little bit of Jessica by my side. A little bit of Rita's all I need. A little bit of Tina's what I see. A little bit of Sandra in the sun. A little bit of Mary all night long. A little bit of Jessica, here I am. A little bit of you makes me your man. Mambo number 5. Or in this case, Goblin number 5. Beep, beep. Alright, airbrush time. So what we're going to try and do with the airbrush here, because I quite like the texture. We're going to try and be really subtle. We're not going to try and change it too quickly, too quickly. And we're going to try a little bit of a couple of different greens. But before we do any of that, we need to clean this motherfucker. Damn you! Damn you, gravity, you win again. It's almost time for me to invest in a new airbrush, I think. I've had this one for a good long while, 4 years or so, I reckon. And I remember the last time when I bought this, I was replacing another one. I bought it and I just was like, oof. Feel the difference. Feel the difference with a new one. It was like leveling up. Oh, I think this is a Ferrari, mate. Very, very satisfied with this particular brand, Iwata. So, yeah. Well, I usually tell people to start with a Neo, like it's just a good brush, you know, because it's cheap, so you can fuck it, but it'll let you understand how everything works. And then once you've gotten used to the Neo, that's when you can afford a good one. Which again isn't to say that the Neo is not good. It's just like, yeah, any car's good, right? Draxy, hey mate. Sorry, we're doing some airbrush cleaning before we continue working on a Goblin from Spira Mirabilis, my friend. And yes, Trot Sky Dim, you did indeed, or Sky DM. I did, mate. Yes, let me grab her out. I'll show you. Stand by. Yes, here she is, Thanatos. I do like the Eclipse, yes. Sorry for my airbrush cleaning that's happening in the midst of all this, but yeah, this is her. Yeah, I think she came out really cool. I'm really happy with her. No, it's just a cool sculpt, man, from a guy called Mikel Contreras. He has a brand called Mikel Contreras Collectibles, and he did a bust and a 75mm figure from that for that particular chick. Very cool, very cool. How's your painting going, Draxy? You doing anything cool at the moment? The Orcs. From the Kickstarter. Wampa? Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I got the elves. I got a couple of the elves, and I got the dude on the big thing. So yeah, I got plans to do a little scene similar to what I did with the Hera models, Chaos Warriors, doing an orc tribe. I've been sort of working on collecting some cool models for it for a while. So yeah, so I haven't done anything on those fellas because I've been planning on putting them on a big diorama. I didn't order Merlin, no. But if I decide that I want to paint it, mate, I'm sure there'll be a copy floating around somewhere. I don't think I know. The Minotaur I'm going to keep separate. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. So it's just literally the big orc dude, and then I've got a Goblin Wolf Rider, and I've got another Orc Rager from Black Sun. There's an orc on a board that I'm trying to track down. There's heaps of good orc models. So yeah, that's the one I've got, the Wolf Rider, the Goblin Wolf Rider. Yeah, I think there's like one or two other orcs that are really cool that I'll try and track down. That one's a back burner project. It's not high on the list. Alright, this is my favourite green colour. E Scorpina Green from Vallejo Game Air. I believe it should actually be called Scorpion Green in English, but according to this it's Verde E Scorpina and E Scorpina Green, so we shall call it E Scorpina Green, as that was the style of the time. Very, very hot. There will definitely not be corpse paint on this gobbo, mate. You know, I love a corpse paint joke as much as the next guy, but I think that one's just about run its course. Shria N just subscribed on YouTube. Thank you. So yeah, this is going to be a very gradual shift with this. I may have even gone too gradual. Oh no, I'm getting there. Because I wanted to just be filtering the surface. That's why I left some areas really dark and some areas really highlighted. Because we want to have a really subtle transition. Oh mate, everyone loves corpse paint, because I did corpse paint on a sheep rider, and everyone's like, yeah, corpse paint, woo! And now when I'm asked for suggestions, everyone thinks it's very amusing to be like, Dano, you should fucking paint with corpse paint on this one. It's like, fuck mate, it's a chick standing in the middle of a forest. Why she got corpse paint on? You fucking peanut. But hey, It's okay. No, there's one other person who does it as well. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could watch some corpse paint. I know not everybody's got corpse paint like me. Alright, that's all that I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna paint the helmet, I think. And the shoulder pad. Alright, we're going to try it for rusty, non-metallic metal. I'm enthusiastic about it. I think I might have cracked it. I might have cracked rusty, non-metallic metal. Let's see. Let's see. Cracked it. Crack City, bitch. Crack City, bitch. I'm not fancy enough for any of that stuff, mate. Ben was the real, you know, streaming wizard. Unfortunately, couldn't back it up with anything. You know, consistency, skill, couldn't do anything on those counts, but he was good at graphics. I'm gonna get some of this. I got blue there, I don't need that. Yellow. Alright, we got our colours. We got our colours. Let's do this. So I don't really have a plan for where I'm placing these lights, or shadows as it were. All I want to do at the moment is just put some actual dark areas on, because I'm going to do some a fair bit of tweaking, so we just want the dark areas in place. We're going to do this in bronze-ish. We're going to do these in some other colour, so let's just try. Alright. Black mixed in with this colour. A little bit of this colour. So, non-metallic metal, you think about this, the objects, where the light's going to be reflecting. You need to think about the shape of the object, how light will interact with that shape. What I'm trying for here is a very specific direction of my stroke, which is going to reinforce the metal. think we should decide which Goblin Clan this goblin is from the old school Warhammer universe. I can only really remember 2. Which is Night Goblins and Forest Goblins. And I know the Night Goblins were actually like, what were they called? Bad Moons? Or is that the Orc tribe from 40k? Crooked Moon. Red Eye, yeah, I remember the Red Eyes, yep. Was that the dude who rode on the chariot, Grom the Paunch? Is that Grom? Grom. Sure did, Scott. Sure did, mate. I have her just above me if you would like to have a look. Ooh, Stress Rhino Limb 919. Wow. How do I get those followers? Can you explain it in more detail? I'm a bit confused. Just step it out for me, like in 4 or 5 simple steps. And if you can pop it in an email, Stress Rhino, that'd be great. Can you do that for me? Just give me a yes, no. Yes, no, Rhino. And if you're not going to respond, I'm going to fucking delete you from my life. Thought he ate a troll, mate. Didn't he eat a troll limb? Grom the Paunch. Thanks, mate. Yeah, she came out pretty cool. Oh, I like her. Yeah, I like that story. Eating a troll. What a champion. Just great stuff. Some of the glory days of my gaming career was back in those days, back in the Warhammer days, before the end times, before the Empire. can actually put a little bit of this in. Scott, there's a lot of approaches to NMM, right? So I think probably what you've got to decide to do is which style you want to learn, because that'll really inform where I push you towards. You know, there's the Mark Masklin style, which is very much you know, not doesn't look realistic, just reads as metal. And then there's like the Michael Pizarski version of metal, which does actually read a lot more like a metal would. Okay, third mask, thanks for the follow, mate. Then there's like stylistic choices, like mine, some of the Spanish painters, Sergio. Yeah, so sort of finding what metal you want to do would be a good start, depending on how awesome you want it to look. But I think probably the best resource I can give you, there's a book released a few years ago by a dude called Jeremy Bonament-Taboul, and he talks a lot about, it's called Figone, Encyclopedia of Miniature Painting. It's very much shaped a lot of the way I paint. Really, really good book. G'day Juntalas, good morning. And if you can track a copy of that down, for me that book was really, really helpful in helping me understand volumes and how volumes work. And my experience with non-metallic metal is it's all about getting the light in the right spot for what you're painting, and if you do that, you're fine. Like it just looks like metal. And so that book just helped me really understand volumes super well. And yeah, once you've sort of got a better handle on that type of thing, then yeah, pick your poison, whose metal you want to try and imitate or learn from. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with imitating. It's what I've learned how to paint. Pretty much everything has been studying the works of other people who've done it and trying to replicate it. And once you understand how and why they do things, that's when you start to put your own spin on it. Big Den, I'll fly it. Yeah, that's a good shout, buddy. I think I can probably answer that for you, Juntalas. Yeah, Cujo's awesome. He does a lot of really good videos, you know, shorter videos sometimes that allow you to absorb the information a little bit better rather than, you know, a 4-hour video and this is how I do this fucking technique. And yeah, his non-metallic metal one's very good. Juntalas, I think you'll find the reason that people paint the skin before the eyes is it allows you to be very messy with the skin. You know, you can be very rough make mistakes, you can use airbrush or whatever to do some colour changes, and then once you've settled on the skin, you can go in and work on the eyes without disrupting any of the work you've done on the skin. There has been painters I've seen who recommended starting with the eyes, and certainly a valid technique. Not for me though. Cujo is my fire, my one desire. Believe when I say Cujo is the best way to learn. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I ain't never wanna hear you say Cujo wants it that way. Yeah, I hadn't actually considered that. Like getting a better understanding of the holistic approach of light on the piece. Yeah. Minium F dropping some truth bombs tonight. So for that corpse paint dribble. That's cool, man. I'm a big fan of bust painting. I love it. Hey, Neshland. I always recommend people get on it. Good on you, buddy. See you again soon. Hopefully. I think Minium F is in the United Kingdom, so it would indeed be good morning for him. Off the top of my head. Juntalas, thanks for the follow, mate. I'm usually pretty entertaining, but tonight, Wednesday night streams are usually just me having a bit of painting fun, mate. So if I'm not that enthusiastic tonight, unlucky. Ha 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 ha, Nickajags. The many fans of the Nickajaguar have been wondering where you were, mate. Many, many fans. Checking my phone right now, mate. She probably needs some tyres, mate. Doesn't want to ask me. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of washing of this. No, mate, the people missed absolutely everything about you. They didn't just miss you, they missed the jokes, they missed the energy. They missed it all, mate. They were like, where is the Nickajags when you need it? Deno leaks, mate. Everyone missed Deno leaks. That is a concrete fact. There you go, mate. Hey, Mittens. What's happening, you champion? Yes, indeed, my friend. We're going to do some rusty colours into this metal, and we're just trying to harmonise everything at the moment. It's a bit muddy, not working all that well, but it's early days. Oh, a whiskey coffee and a Swiss roll. Is there anything better in life? Well, someone just walking up to you and giving you $1 billion would probably be pretty good. Getting to spend half an hour with Big Deno, that'd be pretty good. There's an absolutely beautiful version of this model that I saw the other week, which yeah, is a almost polished sort of armor, but I don't want to replicate that. inside of me. You are my fire, my one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Ah, Mittens. You saucy minx. Teasing me with your cakes. Oof. Pinball Dork, thanks for the follow, champion. Garden Colour Gold, what's happening? How is Germany this fine morning? If I remember rightly, you are indeed from Germany. How is wonderful Deutschland this fine day? G'day, Joe. Yes, this is an awesome bust. That would have been an absolute treat painting this in a class with masculines. How amazing that would have been. I did indeed, yes. I showed it off on last stream, mate. The what is up on YouTube and probably still on Twitch, so but yeah, I got his Northern Wind. Yeah. Ah, lovely. Did you bleed on it, did you? Haha, beautiful. Well, that's sitting in my cabinet, mate, so you can actually say that something you designed and painted is sitting in my cabinet. Well done, you. Well, You probably could have painted it, mate. It was a shit paint job. You just painted it red. Could have done something. I'll tell you what. Ah, awesome. Yeah, let's do my recap. I got Wampa got the most channel points. He earned like 108,000 channel points, and I reckon he's only done about 5 songs. So I'm really nervous about when Wampa decides to pull the trigger. My most streamed category was painting little fucking toy soldiers, of all surprises. What else have we got here? Twitch, Big Dano's 2021 streaming recap is here. Big Dano, you did some awesome shit this year. Thanks, Twitch. Check this out. Big Dano, you did some awesome shit this year. 415 hours. How many fucking days is that? That's a lot of days. I've streamed for days on this fucking platform. 17,000 hours. Toy soldiers. Wow, how crazy is that? 700 plus. Mittens, you're a nut job. Warhammer. Some Gloomhaven. 17 days. Ridiculous. I had nearly 2,000 unique followers. 513 concurrent users. I did get loud. This is my favourite thing. The Big Dano hype. Got used in the chat 2,422 times. That's 6,000 too few for my liking, but anyway. Look at this. How many of you people have spent these on songs? That's fucking bad. 106,000 channel points for Wampa. What a cracker. Yeah, they want to make it. They make it an NFT, Dano. You fucking idiot. No, I shan't be doing that. Good on your Wamps. Congratulations, mate. There's a prize coming your way. It's not a painted model. It's a Crisp High 5 next time I see you. Which could be never. But there you go. There's my update. Go me. 20k. That's fucking 4 songs. I worry sometimes about what's going to happen when you guys all get together and be like, alright, Dano, it's time. It's time for you to sing for the next 6 hours straight. Ah, it's coming, isn't it? It is absolutely coming. I am not looking forward to it. Well, I actually am looking forward to it a little bit. I have to bring the water. Well, I think we're doing next week's streams are the last streams for the year, Big Dano. So it's probably next week's the time to pull them out. Nugget. Nicky Jack, someone ban that guy before he gets to spend his points. Yeah, Bucks, you'll have to change your nickname to Jukebox. You just keep dishing up all the hits, mate. Good night, Scott. Thank you for stopping by, mate. I haven't finished the Gauls, they're sitting up there. It's fucking driving me a little bit up the wall, actually. I'm waiting for an arm to turn up. I don't want to finish them until I do the arm, so. Okay, JW Miniatures. We're going to do rusty metal, so it's not going to stay this shiny looking, but it's shiny-ish. I like it. Yeah, that's a bad call. that's a bad call, mate, on this one. I think this is his best of the year, personally, but I may be in the minority on that count. But yeah, for me, this is his best of the year. Alright, Bucks, you finished your burgers yet, mate? You ready for a chin wag? We played a game of Scythe yesterday. We were supposed to be playing a game called Great Western Trail because we've got a 5-player group, right? So every Tuesday night we go through this dance where if we've got 5 people that turn up, which is usually about 60-70% of the time, we find a 5-player game so everyone can play. And that's usually not too difficult, but at the same time there's only so many games that are 5-player. And many games at 5-player are not as good as 4-player games. So whenever we have 4 people, there's sort of like this secret excitement, which is actually probably not that secret, because everyone's like, yes, that we get to play an actual 4-player game. Because there's a number of games that are 4 players and up. We played some crackers recently, played Clash of Cultures, which is only 4 players. Yeah. Anyway, so we knew that we were going to have 4, and so we were lining up to play a game called Great Western Trail, which last year didn't quite make my top 5 games of the year, but it was in the mix. In the end, I think I had it in my honourable mention as well. So I was pumped to play it this year, absolutely pumped. And in the end, the dude who knew that we were supposed to be playing it if a guy didn't turn up didn't bring it, and then the dude didn't turn up, and so we ended up playing Side, which is good. Side's a fun game, and I enjoyed it very much. But yeah, mate, we played the Fenris campaign last year. Absolutely, probably the best expansion. Like, really incredible campaign. 10 out of 10. One or two missions in it weren't that exciting, but yeah, it was a banger. Loved it. So yeah, I think I've probably had about 50 or 60 games aside over my life. So yeah, I'm a bit of a nuffy when it comes to Scythe. I love it. Most of the time they don't like playing Scythe with me because we do have a mixture of people who don't like the expansion and people who do like the expansion. My preference is probably with the expansion. I think it opens up some things. Like if it's a real snowbally game, if you don't get a good kick on early, like if you go through selling your cows and you have a fucking shit run the first couple of turns, it can basically just crush you. It's so hard to recover. Wilson! What a champion. Yeah, it's fucking awfully hard to recover if you're giving away those 0 victory points in the first few turns. So my Rails to the North, it probably makes that early game a bit easier, which I think is a good thing. This does look like you, mate. Yes, I concur with that assessment. No, that's not true, mate. You look nothing like this. You're much better looking than this. You're a specimen. Hey, Nicky Jags, if you're still about... Nicky Jags, are you still about? Wilson, 4330, is Castaway. Castaway, that's Nicky Jags, is Senor Randall. Yeah, I'm assuming your two viable strategies are trains and buildings, Wes? It's probably a game. I was really pumped to play it because I just haven't played it enough, and I want to play it a lot. Because the way I feel about the game is you have to go hard into one, and then have a secondary strategy that you that you're pumping along as well. So for me it's usually buildings and cows, or trains and cows. But I hope the new additions mix up the game a bit. That'd be cool. It's a good dream to have, mate. So I want this chainmail suit to look pretty old, rusty, have lots of weird colours in it. So this is a fun little exercise. This was actually the thing I was most excited about painting, so I'm pumped. Pumped! Bow, 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 bow. Oops, bit too much of a change. Oh, it's just been a wild year, hasn't it, friends? Absolutely wild year. Hey Wilson, how many hours did you stream for this year? Did you get your Twitch update? Yeah, that was a funny story, eh? Back in the day, my ex-wife, she went to work, it was before we were married and stuff, and this dude was talking about my podcast at her work. She was like, "Oh, do you know Oz Machine?" I was like, "Yeah, it's the best podcast." She was like, "Oh, Big Dino's my boyfriend." 571. Oh, you did more than me, mate. I did 400 or whatever it was. I just looked it up before. It's not about the hours, it's about the enjoyment. Did you enjoy the experience? Alright, let's try. So when you work on objects like this, do it, man, Lego's awesome. So when you're working on this, so these are all individual objects, right? They're individual elements. However, just like these pieces of metal, they'll reflect the light in the same way. So you'll actually have a consistent lighting across the whole surface as well as the individual elements. So what we want to try and do is start to bring in a little bit of a global lighting into this, as opposed to just the individual lighting. So the global lighting is this space here, where we're creating a real specific defined area of light. And then, so we're focusing the light here in this spot. And then we'll also do a little bit down here. This bit. So now we've got a clear lighting thing that's consistent and feels like it lines up with this. And now we're going to go back in and start. Let's do an airbrush. Do it with an airbrush because I fucking love an airbrush. You can do it. Cool. And now we'll add some shadows. And we'll tint this with washes and glazes and what have you, and we still have a lot of rust to add, but we want to get the fundamentals in place. Cool. You could do it, customer. I believe in you. I believe in Harvey Dent. Alright, let's grab some colours. Green, orange, green and orange, and snake white leather. Woot, woot. Man, you can get a webcam for like $120. Weird. Fucking Umart. Or I'll send you one. I've got about 12 sitting around here. I wasn't sure how many I was going to need when I set up my stream, so I was like, better buy like 5, just to be safe. That's cool, man. Thank you. It's it's something I've been practicing for many, many years, so there's probably an element of I make it look relatively easily. Me? Yeah, I think I like. There was three reasons why I started. The first was the opportunity to get an immediate feedback loop happening. As you know, feedback I feel like is a really important part to this process of painting miniatures, and so I wanted to have that opportunity. Second, I was getting so many fucking questions about how do I do this and fucking blah blah blah, and I just thought, man, I need to figure out a way to not have to answer the same question 8,000 times. And the third was I've always made videos and like done stuff for community events, and yeah, it felt like it'd be cool to see what I could do with it. I don't know, I think I've said on here before, as soon as I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it, I'm just going to pick up and move on. But for the moment I'm enjoying it, and I think it's been a cool way to guarantee myself some painting time every week. Not that I've generally had a lot of problems with that, but yeah, just been good to lock in and sit down and paint for 3 hours on a Monday, 3 hours on a Wednesday, and 3 hours on a Sunday, in addition to whatever other time I manage to make. So yeah, some selfishness and some trying to help people a bit easier, I guess. Gonna burn your name right across the sky. Bobby Dazzler's back. Let's do this. We're gonna have a little Skype in, have a chin wag with Buccarinos. Bucks and Benny are in. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello.
What are you doing, friends? You're live on the internet.
I'm turning you down now.
You are live on the internet, mate.
Live on the internet. We are live. Mate, I quite like the way this is looking. I was just about to send a message in the chat and just say, just keep it up. It's looking great.
Yeah.
Looking real great.
Cool little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a fun sculpt.
Oh, Lucas Pina.
So
yeah,
a friend of mine was he dealt with a little bit of cloudiness in some post painting. I think he sealed it with something or other, and he got cloudy anyway.
Yep.
And he was like, I did all the research I could, and he said vinegar seems to be the key thing to take out cloudiness.
And you said olive oil? Don't do it. Do olive oil. Is that what you said?
Oh, he might have said olive oil.
Well,
but I just used vinegar, and vinegar just worked.
All right. Don't use vinegar. Use olive oil.
Yeah. But you know what? Don't I feel like a goose? Okay. I had Benny here, but I had Benny on the way out to buy vinegar.
I was about to destroy like 6 figures.
Yeah, don't put vinegar on your figures, mate. That's a non.
It's worked though.
All right.
I don't know why, but it has. Yeah, let me get some olive oil and just double check, just make sure.
Yeah, shit. He just tried to sabotage me.
That was intentional.
Yeah, fuck.
He's out to get you.
That's gonna be all my fucking Crimson Brush pieces just destroyed.
Man, now the Crimson Brush is on, you got to watch that guy. He's out to get you. He's a
I
hunter.
know, fucking hell.
He's a hunter.
Everyone's out to get me, Dano. Everyone.
Yeah.
I've got Storm sleeping next to me in the
Oof.
night, just looking at destroying all my figures.
Yeah.
Got Andy.
I don't trust Storm, mate. Wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her.
Yeah, that's quite far, actually.
Yeah, she's only small.
Hey?
She's only small. I could throw her a fair distance.
Yeah, she's like 5 foot.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about tonight?
Oh, look, let's have a chinwag about Crimson Brush, shall we?
Why not?
What are your
Very
plans?
exciting.
What are your plans for entries for the Crimson Brush, the inaugural Crimson Brush painting competition?
I did at last count. I have an honest, probably 15 entries. An honest 15 that I could put in.
Mm-hmm.
But I could probably hit 25 entries.
Yeah.
For this year that I've painted.
A lot of models.
It is. But how many of them do I think will do well, or at least put in a good show? Well, that's a
That's a separate question.
that's a separate question.
So I assume you're going for the Trent Dennis Award for most entries.
Well, yeah, why not?
I mean, you're guaranteed a prize then, aren't you?
Yeah, the prize is just being there, I think, for a lot of us. For me in particular. Time to spend, have a great weekend with friends. Have a bit of a paint along. Get to meet some people in person. I think that's the true prize. But also, couple of medals.
Yeah. The real prize was the friends we made along the way.
It was.
Come on, Wes. 2 would be awesome, mate. I'd be stoked if you brought along 2. So the very first Crystal Dragon that I entered, I brought one entry. It was a team of fishermen for Guild Ball, and I got nothing, and I was pretty salty about it because I was like, man, these are fucking good. I don't know what you're talking about, judges. You guys are on crack. They were pretty good, but I went away and went and then did a class with Meg, and then came back the following year and entered some display painting stuff as opposed to just some gaming figures that I'd entered. And yeah, I did pretty well. I got a couple of golds, a couple of silvers, a couple of bronzinos, so I was pretty happy. And thus the joy was won. That first year I think I took 8 entries, and everyone was like, wow, that's so crazy. Can't believe you painted 8 things. I was like, man, I painted that in like fucking 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So the next year, I said I'm gonna try and crack 20 entries this year, and I had painted 20 entries, and a friend of mine who was driving down had bought one of the pieces. I was like, hey man, I really want to enter this at the competition, and he's like, yeah, cool, I'll bring it down for you. So I was like, awesome. So I packed 19, and I got to the weekend. I gave him a call. Oh, hey man, hey, you got that model? And he was like, nah, I forgot it. And he's a pest, right? He's always like making jokes and stuff. So I was like, oh, this guy's just being a funny guy.
He's just having you on.
Yeah, he's just having me on. He's like, nah, fuck, I forgot it, man. I'm so sorry. I'm like, whatever, dickhead. Just bring it to the fucking competition, will you? And he's like, nah, man, I'm serious. I really forgot it. I was like, man, you've been fucking crying wolf for the last 2 years. I know you pretty well. You fucking brought it. And he comes up, he almost had tears in his eyes. He's like, nah, man, I really forgot it. I feel so bad. And I said, it's fine. But I had 19 that year.
Yeah.
And then the next year I brought 22. And then I took over control of the event. So I decided I would implement a competition for who would bring the most entries. It is not serious. It is just funsies. And
Yeah, it's a meme. It's just for a good laugh. And I think what it actually does is, I think it does 2 things, that particular award. I think it emphasises the values of the event, which is more painting is better.
Yep.
And I think that it also encourages the idea that entering is like part of the battle a lot of the time. Just doing it, like putting your stuff out there, and to watch people just go, here's 20 things from varying skills, skill sets, like what's that? That's not the right word. Not skill sets. Varying
Quality
varying
levels.
degrees of skill and quality.
Yeah.
I think it's good for breaking down barriers and shows people that even the best painters around there still have off days. They still have projects that don't quite go the way they want them to. All that sort of stuff. So I think it's actually great. It's a great award to have.
Well, it ended up being, and to have another selfish reason, and I'm allowed to have this one. We need more entries, right? Like it's a small competition. We need more people bringing models. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So to have some avenue to convince people, hey, I might just bring another 5 entries. Even if they're not my best, I'll still just bring 5 more. So it's great. We've had a couple of people hotly contested. David and Cara, the first year I did it, they both brought 15 plus entries. Both they were trying to get it, and I think David ended up winning it. He had 19 or something, and Cara was spewing. And then next year, Cara won it. So we'll see who wins this year. But it sounds like you're a shout, Bucks.
We'll see how I go. Like I've got I think I painted my, and this is not I painted my first bust. I painted a couple of weeks into coming to this stream, and I'm at, that was in August, or just August, and then I've got 15 busts done so far. And then I got a couple of other bits and bobs, and then I've got obviously all the miniature painting stuff that I've done beforehand as well. So I think there'll be a few things in there, quite like your first entry, like some miniature painting stuff that I think is pretty nice. But outside of that, there you go, Joey Sky. And at last copper when I took 21 entries, got 3 medals, and the boss. Best of show.
Quantity is a quality all of its own, my friend. What about you, Benny? You got any plans for the thing? You gonna bring some entries? Are you still with us, or did he disappear?
Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, no, I was just counting how many I've done this year. I wasn't sure.
How many?
49.
Whoa, that's an awesome year. Good. Anytime you're on 1 per week, I feel like you're having a good year.
Yeah, so I'm currently on 49 display miniatures, and then a bunch of Star Wars stuff, like Mandos and things, Leech and stuff that I just haven't counted that yet, because that's just kind of like, they're my funsy things. But as far as like dioramas or busts or like little sort of miniature scene pieces.
Do you want to grab the link for the rules pack for him?
Yeah, sure.
So, pretty stoked on that. My goal was 50, and the character I'm painting right now is my 50th, so that's pretty cool.
Nice. Where's coming your way, mate? Don't worry. Let's just turn down this exposure. Turn down for what?
What does Wes want? He just wants to...
just give him a link to the rules pack, mate, or the event on Facebook.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. I'll do the two. There's the Instagram and the Facebook. We'll get them both up.
I've decided I'm going to bring probably 5 or 6 pieces.
Cool.
And they're all going to be things that I am personally proud of, not things to aim to try and get or win awards or anything like that. Just things that I'm like pretty stoked on, that like I had an idea in my head and I got pretty close to how I wanted it with my skill level. So that's my goal.
Good approach.
Yep, we'll see what everyone thinks. I'm excited for people to see stuff in person too. They can tell me whether the photos are better or the in-person stuff's better.
Confident the photos are better, mate.
Well, maybe 1 or 2. I don't know.
I think for the most part, it's for Ben and I. Correct me if I'm wrong, Benny, speaking for you here, but I think it's the ability to put some stuff up and just have people have a look at it, get some some raw in-person honest feedback. That in all honesty is probably the true takeaway.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably the most important thing. for growth.
Andrian Droid, welcome.
Yeah, the big thing for me is seeing other people's stuff in the flesh, because I've only ever seen 2 of Deno's pieces, and that's it. Like that's the only reference I have for other people's painted models in person.
How good are they though, eh?
They're pretty good. They're pretty good, but it did make me be like, oh fuck, I'm not that far.
You are.
So. So it was good. It was good to see that. So yeah, it was nice. But yeah, like I said, I'd love to see some other people's and see how they paint things.
I find the best part about the weekend is nothing to do with the competition. I mean, competition's fun. It's a reason for everyone to congregate, and it's a good way to measure your progress against yourself.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
But yeah, the reason for the weekend is everyone just gets to come and hang out and spend a couple of days, talking about toy soldier painting and getting crazy enthusiastic about it, which is my favourite bit.
No, I reckon that'd be so good, because it'll be like I'll get fucking pumped up on it, and then when I get back home I'll be ready to paint for next year and all the other contests that are online or stuff.
I usually take a couple of weeks off painting after it, because I'm usually fucking pretty much
Done.
I'm tapping out for a bit.
Yeah. I had a week off last week and I was dreaming about it, so I was like, yep, I need to go back.
I chucked all the links in, and then the last link is to where you can get your tickets from.
Beautiful, well done, Buccarinos. Earning your keep.
Not a problem, Bobby Lee.
You should put him on the Facebook page and get me off of it.
I just wanted you to do all the pictures so I wouldn't have to, and then you didn't. So I was like,
yeah, I know. I was trying to find that off onto you. As soon as I was like, fuck that, I'm not touching that.
I was like, damn, fuck, I was hoping he was going to do it. And you didn't. I was like, well, he's on to me, so.
As soon as you added to me, I'm like, oh, no. I know this game. They fucking try to do this to me at work.
Well. We tried.
And I spoke to the boss today and have been approved for it, so just as long as Omicron doesn't want to keep Victorians off podiums, we'll be there,
Well, yeah. Let's not count any chickens, but I feel like it'd have to be an absolute explosion and monumental levels for them to backtrack and say, okay, we're actually closing everything again, because there would be an uproar.
There has been some conversations about some border closures at the moment, so.
Wow.
But outside of that, that will be literally the only thing that stops us.
Yep.
Yeah. And if that's what happens, that's what happens, and
Yeah. If shit happens, shit happens. Andy,
maybe we can just we'll send some photos along or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Maybe even we could Twitch stream in or something that.
This is something I did want to talk about actually. So here's my intention for the weekend, and our intention is all one well and good, but whether or not I can make it happen, it's a different story. First intent is to have the judging done live on my stream.
Ooh,
so I'll set up a couple of cameras with some different angles of figures and myself.
You need some web cameras?
No, I've got plenty.
I got 5, so I can bring.
Yeah, I think I've got 7 because I also. So here's
calm down, boys. Calm down. Here's
the thing that's stupid, right?
One, like most people.
Yeah. Here's the dumb thing, right? I was getting into my Kingdom Death earlier in the year, and I was like, yeah, I want to fucking record some Kingdom Death games. What a mad idea, says Dano. So, but I didn't want to stop my painting at the same time, so I went and grabbed another couple of webcams, and then I was like, oh, I probably need another one, so got a 4K one, and then I got another tripod. So I've literally got enough for 3 stream setups. I've got fucking cameras, way too many cameras, so I'm going to bring him, set him up, and we'll hopefully do it.
Okay, let me tell you. Listen,
Yeah.
if you got a stream deck.
No, well, I don't have a stream deck, but that was an intentional choice because I thought, I don't want to fucking push buttons, man. I want to paint soldiers, right?
I'm telling you, you connect all 7 of those web cameras up to each little button, you have action camera. You just angle change ridiculous.
Yeah, but here's the
I
thing,
mean,
Ben.
can Benny and I have a co-stream? Put us on a table.
Here's the thing, Ben. You are talking about how great it was to switch cameras and how awesome your fucking stream was, mate. Why aren't you doing it anymore, eh? Fuck
Yeah, look, let me tell you. Okay? I had a mental breakdown.
All right, well, I'll allow that.
What I'll say is maybe I did have too many cameras and it was too much.
Where's average number of cameras amongst males in Australia is 4.7. Oof, oof.
A very old DSLR that I do not use.
It's a yeah. Look, I wouldn't mind a stream deck. I looked into getting one for quite a while, but in the end, I just thought I don't switch cameras. I don't like do stuff enough to make it worthwhile. So I just thought not
listen. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You could just get some little sound clips, some little noises. Just pre-record some things. Anytime someone asks a dumb question, just play that, click that button. You don't have to talk. You just keep painting.
But people watch Big Dano for the absolute scathing retorts when they do say something stupid, right? So
It's true.
So I think you're lessening my impact and my charisma by doing that. So
It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be great to to get up there and yeah, get painting.
So that's my first plan.
He's got that low tier going.
The fuck?
What's your second plan?
All right, my second plan. So that was the first one. My second plan is to do a live stream similar to what was done at Monty, not the same, where we do some interviews with some of the Australian painters to help broaden the exposure of our scene to an international audience, and we'll just have it maybe running over the weekend, just showing off the room and stuff, and then have some scheduled interviews and what have you on the weekend.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. Look, do you need a roaming buckers? Is that what you need with the microphone in tow?
I never knew I needed this in my life until right now.
Yes, I think this is great.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's it's a wonderful idea, in fact.
I'm throwing myself in for a lot of work on the weekend because normally I just sit back and people drop off their models and I'm like, see you guys, and then that's about it. So I am loading myself up for a bit of extra work, but could be good.
Anything we can do to help? I'll bring snacks. Keep you hydrated.
I know you just have to bring him Red Bull and he'll be fine.
Yeah. The biggest gap that you've got, mate, that I need help with is charisma, and I know you can't help me with that, right? So.
Well, listen, I'm the right man for you.
No, so I've got the two things that would stop me from doing that is my computer has not really got the juice to run it. Well, it has. It's done it before, but it doesn't like multiple cameras and has a bit of a fit sometimes. My little laptop. And I actually don't know if the internet is good enough to make it happen at CanCon.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah, that might be shit house.
Well, it's definitely shit house, but it may I know there's a staff one that I accessed last year, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they'll be real stoked with me setting up for streaming,
Yeah. Have you thought of maybe even just filming and then filming the whole thing how you normally would stream, except just recording it and then just upload it to YouTube or something?
And that's the other option that I could do.
You can also actually replay that as a live stream on Twitch, I believe, as well.
Can you really? That'd be cool.
I believe you can schedule pre-recorded videos to be uploaded live.
Well,
so you should be able to. I can double check that and find out to be sure, but I do believe that is a possibility.
Yeah, that might be a cool way to do it. But Yeah, it'd be nice for people that can't make the weekend to be able to tune in at the time.
Yeah,
So-
100%. Yeah.
Shit.
I'll never forget what the feeling is like. I want every single. Alright, I want a punchy orange, satin orangey colour. What have I got? Ooh, here we go. A totally non-racist colour at all. Chink orange. No, let's go this one. Tiamat orange. Tiamat being one of the goddesses in, what is it? Forgotten Realms? Many-headed dragon?
Yes,
Or is Tiamat
Five-headed
from-
dragon. Five-headed
Tiamat from Dragonlance.
Okay, speaking of, so I started.
Exile?
Yes, I started it today. Oh, already I'm just like, fuck, this book's good.
Oh man. I think that's some of his best, those three.
I think already I'm enjoying these prequels more.
Yeah, no, well, mate, they're better books. That's why
Yeah.
you're enjoying them more. Because they're better.
Like, so I'm just at the part where he's just found Breezer and his brother, like trying to hunt him down in the Underdark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, slaughter them, please, God.
Wes is on fire tonight.
So, like, hypothetically, right, if my friend, like, covered his model, like, in olive oil, like, what would he do to get the olive oil off? Just curious. He's messaging me right now.
If this friend of yours is actually you and you're trying to cover up an egregious mistake, I would suggest your friend should grab some cotton tips
Yep.
and use the cotton tips with a little bit of moisture, a little bit of water, to just
Yep.
gently remove it.
Yep.
And
He thanks you and says he had grabbed a cotton tip but hadn't thought to add a little moisture. So
yeah,
Let me tell you, Andy, he's actually pulling your leg and he's got you to rub olive oil on half your models.
no, look, if you don't like dip them in a fucking vat of olive oil and be like, here we go, the problem's fucking solved now. All
you
right,
just painted them with a brush, like
Don't
just
do
a little
that.
bit of painting.
don't do that. All right, just get a little bit of olive oil.
Oh,
On a
fuck, I
cotton
wish you
tip.
said that a bit earlier.
Well, I'm not here to fucking fix your problems as painters, guys. I've got to tell you.
Well, mate, listen,
Actually, that's exactly why you're here.
Yeah.
It's not our problem. It's my friend's problem.
sorry, your friend's having
His
real
name
trouble.
is Bandy.
Ah, yes, Bandrew.
Ux.
My good friend
Andrew
Bandrew.
Ux.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've been playing around with a little Cartacci red method,
Ah, yes, lovely.
and I must say, I'm quite partial to it.
I'm quite partial to anything Cartacci does. Old Danilo.
tell you what, I'm fucking loving this Games Workshop Witch King. Oh,
It's a nice sculpt.
it's just fun, man. Like, I'm being very noodly, but it's so worth it. Like, I'm really enjoying it.
Well, whereas sometimes when you use a varnish, you can get a cloudy finish. Usually doesn't happen to good painters, but no, it happens all the time. And So I was Roman Lepart and Raphael Pica were the ones that I learned about the olive oil from, believe it or not. Because Rafa wrote an article many years ago about how he was working on a Golden Demon entry and he fucked it and he had the varnish, he'd varnish it halfway through and it had just cooked it and he was spewing. So the way you can fix it, there's a couple of ways you can fix it. So if you do a gloss varnish, I'm going to draw the picture that they drew in this picture. So the reason why you get cloudiness, right, is so if this is your surface that you're working on, when you get a matte varnish, what happens is you're getting these pigments of matte varnish that are basically irregularly catching. So what's actually happening in a micro level is this. So you're getting all these little teeth of matte varnish pigments all across the figure. So gloss varnish and matte varnish act in completely different ways. A gloss varnish will actually fill in the surface to create a completely smooth surface so that you have more reflection. So if you have this problem with this stuff, all you need to do to fix it, one of the ways you can fix it is do a gloss varnish, which will fill in all of these areas with gloss to create this smooth layer, and then you give it another varnish, hopefully more effectively done, with a matte, and that will fix the problem. But olive oil also has the effect of just peeling those pigments away, so there's some methods you can use.
Yeah, I hadn't actually hadn't actually varnished anything at all. I was getting it from the talc out of the Chimera Red, making it a bit chalky and a bit cloudy because I was using it in successive glazes. So I needed something to pull that out, and it's done the job on that as well. So
Conrad, what's happening, mate? So let's plan out the intent for the weekend and doing some interviews with people. Who would we like to get interviews from?
I'd like to interview Jim, because I think that Jim is really, really passionate about what he's trying to do for the painting scene in Australia, and what he can provide. And I think, having a chat to Jim would be really good.
All right.
Just as a slightly left of centre. I mean, Jim is also a painter, by the way. But yes.
Well, Jim was always going to do it, as being he was one of our Sleepy Slang. Given that he's our one of our major sponsors, we'll definitely be getting an interview with him. But
as for painters,
there's two that jump out to me.
I think Dave would be an interview that a lot of people would like to listen to. I think that
Dave and
Sebastian would be an interview that people would like to listen to.
I'd like to hear, personally, I'm just being selfish now, but I'd like to hear about, the transition to painting and sculpting, and if he, does he miss it? Does he ever think about it? Or is he, sculpting's it now? And a bit about that process. That'd be quite interesting.
So, Dave, of course we're going to interview Dave. He's the most famous and recognisable Australian painter, and probably the best Australian painter. So we should definitely be interviewing Dave. Seb, another one, a judge, always good to get his insights. He's also a very lovely man. Be nice to interview a female painter. I think we don't.
It'd be good to hear Kara's skills.
Yeah, so we've got Kara, who'll be there on the weekend, and I think depending on who else comes, Tom from Two Dorks One Brush has come last couple of years. So it'd be good to have a chat to him about his experiences streaming.
Oh, dude. I think, is it Josh?
Which Josh?
There's another Australian painter, Josh.
Oh yeah, Josh. He's from Josh Anderson, or
Josh Anderson. He could be a great guy to interview, just on his methodology and process for what seems to be, and I'm making an assumption here, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but he has a very unique painting style, and he's quite intense with his textures, so it could be cool to have a chat to him about that.
Yep.
We could obviously interview yourself.
No, well, I don't think people want to hear from me. I think people have heard enough from me, don't you?
Well, I mean,
we could do a lightning round of questions for you.
Yeah, we could do a lightning round of questions. We could ask you less about painting and more about what the event is and what it means, blah blah blah, etc. etc. To be honest, I could just ask you, night or day, meat pie, tomato sauce, not tomato sauce.
Let's do that right now, mate. Let's do that right now.
VB or 4X, but we know the answer is VB for that one.
Lightning round with Deno starts right now. Go.
Speed round starts right now.
Yeah.
Mate.
We don't need to do this at the Crimson Brush. Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Tell us something about tyres.
What would you like to know? That is one of my other areas of expertise.
Yeah.
I can give you
I got one for you. How often should I get my tyres changed?
How much driving do you do?
Every day.
How far?
About probably 20 k's.
What sort of car is it?
A Toyota Corolla 2001.
Wonderful.
I got it for $65.
Most people will do on average 10 to 15,000 kilometres in a driving year, and most tyres will last, depending on the car, depending on the size, anywhere between 40 or 30 to 50 is about average for most cars. Some cars you'll get less, some cars you'll get more. You're probably bang in the middle with a Corolla that old. It's probably all fine. So yeah, I would say once every 4 years for you would be about what I would expect.
Like, there you go. All right, another question.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favourite car then?
I actually hate cars.
Me too.
Me too as well.
Me too.
It
All right,
fucking sucks.
let's just get as far away from this conversation as we possibly can.
Genuinely hate them.
Yeah.
I don't have one. I don't have a car. Don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Cars suck.
They do.
Next question.
Yep.
All right, who's your first painter crush?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Well, so I think I've talked about on stream before. I started my painting career many years ago when I was I was working for Games Workshop in my teens and into my early 20s, and back in the day we had a number of fantastic Australian painters. The Australian Golden Demon was actually very well known across the country, across the world.
It was.
Yeah, it was. We were one of the best. We had Glenn Lamprecht, Lee Carpenter, Sebastian Archer, Victoria Lamb, all of these incredible painters. And but yeah, mine was definitely Glenn Lamprecht, who lived in Australia, in Brisbane. He actually lived just near me. I ended up getting to know him really well as I worked for Games Workshop, and he used to buy stuff from us because that was where he used to buy stuff. How many Lambo wheels have I scratched? 2 to my knowledge. So Glenn Lamprecht, who was the first person anywhere in the world to ever win 4 Slayer swords. I think a couple of people have done that now. Sebastian was the next person to do it.
3 and a shield. 3 and a shield.
3 and a shield, yeah. So, Glenn Lamprecht. And if you don't know Glenn, he was a Warhammer player, used to absolutely love Warhammer mythology and stuff, and his first Slayer sword winning piece was some Wood Elf scouts that he converted to look like American Indian style, feathers, Native American feathers, and tribal designs. They were absolutely unreal.
He brought a really and I'm not going to say he was the first to do this, but he was one of the first in our country, especially, I guess, to really launch the idea that a base can be a true part of the miniature. I found.
Yep.
He told some fantastic stories. So I think for 2004 he entered, and I think he Slayer sorted that year with the Chaplain.
Yep.
That he did, and then
that one was a surprise. He went into 40k single miniature intentionally to try and challenge Carpo, because he knew that Carpo didn't often enter the, and I think he absolutely tore it up.
Yeah. But the base on that was one of those first really sort of big scale bases I remember seeing.
Yeah.
And it definitely had impact on influence, I think, for the most part on,
For sure.
On our scene, and probably the broader scene around us. So, I'll tell you what, to build on this, do you know who I am? I'm crushing on right now. I'm crushing on CHK.
I knew you were, because we rated him the other night, and he pulled out some of his figures, and I could hear you from the other side of Australia, and your jaw hit the floor, and you're like, what the fuck? When did this guy get this fucking good? Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. He's and I changed my crushes pretty quickly, but he is definitely my crush at the moment. Big fan of the guy. Wonderful attitude toward miniature painting. Wonderful attitude toward the community, and also just happens to be a phenomenal painter.
Yeah, he's done some magnificent stuff.
Yeah,
he is absolutely kicking goals at the moment. I love him as a painter. Like, I think he's just there's very few painters, and this will sound like a humble brag, which probably it is, but there's very few painters that crank out the same level of contrast that I do in my work. Like, I have really intensely contrasted figures, and you see my stuff alongside other painters, and you're like, whoa, his stuff is in the same tier as potentially bigger contrast than mine, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
So, CHK.
So big shout out there. Yeah, his stuff is awesome. What about you, Benny? Who are you crushing on at the moment? Who are you vibing with?
Shit. Let me look at Instagram. That's how I know. It's wherever I've saved the most pictures from recently.
Yes.
I change very quickly though too.
You do.
To be honest.
CHK and AP Studio are probably my two man crushes of the year in terms of their painting.
Oh, and Natalia's ripped it up this year as well.
Yep.
So lately, I mean, Masculins is always in there for me. He's kind of like the first love, you know. You'll never forget him. But what's the guy's name? Shit, I'm gonna butcher it when I find his piece. He did the Witcher bust and all that.
Oh yeah, Athami Alonso.
Yeah, dude, he's just like, he swept me off my feet.
It's Niobe as well. Yeah, he did Niobe.
Yeah. Just pretty much a lot of his stuff. I love people that think like conceptually about it, like not just paint a mini, like they do like a story or something with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's him. Like he is just. I wanna really intensely understand this. Yeah, Victor Vera. We were talking about him the other night, Joe. I got a secret love for him. He's not well known enough in my books. He's wild. There's actually a colour I think called Orcish Dermis, which I might try.
Oh, that is a bunny favourite.
Is it?
That's her secret weapon.
I've got to find it. Yep. I've got to find it. I know I've got it somewhere. It's a good little colour. Don't use it enough, probably.
It is every female.
If I can find the fucker. Yeah, Victor Vera. Wow, he is unappreciated. Oh, Ishtar Pink. That's one I haven't used a lot.
And Chris Sir, is it the Sir?
Sure.
Is that the
Shuri? Yeah. I think it is, but
Suri is absolutely
it's up there.
had some time in the sun recently with his recent stuff. It's been really, really lovely.
I just finished that piece for my mum that was heavily inspired by him.
Jan, you legend. G'day, mate. We'll give you a quick shout out. I'm painting this goblin guy. Having a ripping good time.
But yeah, he's really good. I'm very excited to see who does that little. I love my favorite one of his is that D&D scene he did. That is just so good.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
He credited Big Dano in the creation of that scene. You're welcome, by the way. Thank you. So in a way, I am responsible for Chris Suri. You're welcome. Thank you. That's not true. I'm not at all.
I believe we can trace back all things to Trent Denizen.
You're right. It's I'm like the Kevin Bacon of miniature painting, aren't
I? Life itself.
the Kevin Bacon of miniature painting. Big Dano. Where is this fucking colour? I'm sure I've got it somewhere. Mayhem Red.
His little dragon that he's doing, the Bite of the Bullet, sort of like Warlock Sorcerer Dragon. Oh, yeah. That's going to be good.
Yeah. Where the fuck are you, little mug? What is a VIP? No, I haven't, mate. I'll tell you truthfully. I fucking was supposed to set it up, and I haven't set it back up since something happened. Oh, is that it? There it is. Yeah, I haven't set up shoutouts since the Nightbot thing that I'm using. What am I using? Ghost Host. Is that what it's called? Ghost Host. Yeah, Ghost Host. I'm paying my $15 and I'm not even using it. That's how good a bloke I am. Just looking after my mate. Flickster. Is it? Well, that's good. I'm glad I'm paying my $15 then.
This has given me quite a nice red.
Can't touch it.
Goodbye.
This is true, Flick. I can't believe you're on, but it's very funny actually. I should sort out the Alworth, but mate, every time I'm like, I just want to get some painting, mate. I don't want to fuck around with that. So I'll set it up soon, sometime. Good work, Wampa.
What's the go for the shield on this bad boy, mate? What's the plans?
Oh, don't know. What do you
Dunno.
reckon? What do you reckon?
It's. I think it's a pretty important part to this model. I think it's got
Why
a
start planning now, mate?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Sick clan symbol of some kind.
I should do the moon, shouldn't I? Fucking love the moon.
You do like the moon?
Yeah, I love the moon.
The moon is good.
Yeah, I think the shield could look good on the back. The only thing it's a pretty small shield, and I think it balances. It gives you some nice contrast of textures and stuff. So I think, I'm not sure. I might leave it on the front.
No, yeah.
Be pretty easy to put on the back though. You fill that in really easy.
All right, fellas. I have to. I got to bounce. I got to go pick up Storm.
All right. Thanks for having a chat, mate.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'll catch up with you guys later on.
Yeah.
Sure. You coming back through this evening?
I'll see how she goes. I don't know yet,
Yeah, sure.
but I'll message you if not.
Sure.
Hey,
All right.
on the shield.
Catch you, boys.
See you, buddy. Thanks for
Yeah.
Chinwag. Love you. Great dude.
What a legend.
Yeah, good human.
Yeah. One of the best. Yeah. I think the shield's an important part. So yeah, I think getting a symbol right could be good. You got really good wood texture there to play around with too. So.
Yeah. It's coming out alright, eh?
Yeah.
Not bad
Oh.
for 2 hours.
Wes hasn't got his yet.
Shouldn't be far off, Wes. I only got mine.
Yeah.
I only got mine a couple of days ago, so. Yeah.
Well, all the Victorian ones, sort of that I know who got it, all kind of got theirs within a couple of days of each other. So maybe they came into us first, and then they're going out to you guys, or
Sydney.
yeah,
Sydney's also probably getting pumped with everything.
yeah.
I want to actually go red, crimson. Yeah, let's go crimson.
For the notes, for the schnods.
See ya, Nicky Jags. Yeah, it's definitely the Spira because I had the same notification, mate, and I didn't actually know what it was. Speak then, mate. Oh, yes, look at this. This is a red. This will punch your fucking nostrils out. Boom.
Yeah. Mittens is off as well.
Oh, see you, Mittens. Have fun. Have a nice dinner. Oh. Mittens is great. Mittens added me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Mittens added me on Facebook the other day. Thanks for the ad, Mittens.
Everyone who comes to this stream is great. Very rarely does one see someone who is not great.
Well, Colwell comes in every now and then, so.
Look, I'll leave that one for you, mate.
I love Dave.
It'd be awesome to see Dave's stuff in person, that's for sure. It'll be awesome to see everyone's, but to particularly have a look at that method and style that he uses up close would be awesome.
I think you'll be both alternately impressed and also a little disappointed.
I think that's always the way it happens, isn't it?
Because you'll absolutely see that it's just flawless, soft, smooth. See ya, Mittens. You know, incredible softness, and you're like, wow, this guy is an absolute freak. But at the same time, it's something about it that feels sterile and misses the mark. So, yeah, I'll be interested in your thoughts. Oh, g'day, Ron. What's going on? Let's get a little bit of red in the cheeks, I think.
Wonder if anyone in the chat's got any questions for us or for you.
Any
Fire off
questions?
a few, rattle off a few.
Load up, chat, if you've got questions for the Big Danielson. Now's the time.
How's Australia right now? From Ron 6591.
Ron, Australia is a wonderful place to live, in my experience. I'm sure other people have different experiences, but mine... Oh, 49. Benny finished 49 as well. That's an impressive number, man.
What was 49? What's this mini called? This is the mercenary goblin, right? From Spira Mirabilis, however you'd like to say it. But he's a mercenary goblin. He's the latest one to be distributed, but the second one back. So he's put another one up a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago now, which is like an Arthur and Merlin one. But then we've got this one that's just sort of landed, which is the mercenary goblin.
Awesome, Jan. That's a good
What's your take on Moonstone stuff, Jan? I had a little peek at their website a little while back, and the stuff looked pretty cool. Interested to know what it looks like in the hand.
It's very small. I was on the original Kickstarter. Love the models.
Oh, awesome!
I used some of them for my fairy garden diorama.
Yeah. I was looking at the site with a few of our friends, and Benny pointed out that you would use some of their stuff.
Ugh. Dropping paintbrushes. They're good figures, but yeah, they're just small. And when you've only come from like Games Workshop and display figures, you notice how fucking small they are.
Yeah, I think I noticed that quite heavily jumping across and doing Infinity stuff for a little while back there as well.
Yeah, it's a cool little game, Wes. It's little fairy-ish take on skirmish game. It's got some neato ideas. I read the rules, thought it was okay. Alright, Bucks, do you reckon I should do... I haven't done this like really properly in a figure before. Do you reckon I should do some rim lighting where I go from behind and have like a bit of rim lighting on this? Could be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I always like to think about the setting, man. So like, if you're gonna go for something like that, are we thinking like in a cave or something like that, copping a bit of light coming through?
Yeah, you're obviously a lot more of a planner than I am, mate.
Oh, not really, eh? I just sort of wing it. I'm just, quick with it sometimes.
It's a good
my moments, you know.
Good question, mate. It's a good question, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know where he is. He's just a little goblin, mate. He's just having a good time.
He looks like he's not actually having a good time, mate. He actually looks like he's about to stove someone's head in, I reckon.
Good question, Wavy. My number one tip. Well, everyone is being held back by one of two things, either a skill gap or a knowledge gap. So my number one piece of advice is establish which one of those two is your problem so that you can address the actual problem with your painting. For most people, it is not a knowledge gap. Most people think, if I go and do a class or learn, that will help me and I will become a better painter. Probably true. You probably will become a better painter. But oftentimes it is the skill gap that is holding people back, which is why my piece of advice that I give many people is practice, because you need to address the actual problem with your painting to get better.
Yeah, I think that's it's a super important one, and I think what kind of goes hand in hand with that is sort of being realistic with yourself about where you're at within the hobby, and where you honestly want to take it.
Goal setting, excellent one.
Goal setting, yeah. Not being, and this is going to be a bit more feely than theory, I guess. Not being too hard on yourself is a super important one. You know, we often in our group of painters, we often have discussions about stuff like this, and we have people from all different skill gaps. And I think the one that I notice often is we will have some pretty intense conversations about painting, getting better at painting, where we're at with painting, and maybe what we're doing with the current piece we're working on. But at the end of it all, I think Trent often asks, when he's there, are you having fun? And I think that's a super important part to it, is to remember to have fun.
Most important part.
And you can see the impacts on people's painting when they are having fun versus when they're not having fun. It shows. So, as lame as feely as that sounds,
it's actually like it sounds lame, but mechanically speaking, it's pretty straightforward. People that are having fun, like, their muscles are more relaxed. They're not getting like super tense and struggling with technical things. They're more likely to be releasing endorphins, which means they're happy, which means they, want to do it again, which is going to result in people practicing more. So having fun with what you're doing is actually going to help you get better very quickly.
Another one, we can drop some more. Another one. I know you only asked for one, but you're getting several. This is one that I recently received that I value quite highly and pass on everywhere I can now, which is more of a technical one now, which is that colour doesn't exist in a vacuum. And it's really important to place colours alongside other colours in order to get real scope on where your miniature is heading. As I tend to get hyper, and I'm sure many of you in the chat might feel this way. You can sometimes get hyper fixated on one thing and trying to really get that correct. And it's not until the influences of the other colours around the miniature start to come into play until you can really kind of get ahead on what's going on. So I think that's a really, really helpful tool technically as well.
That is an excellent one.
And a great example of this, and this is one that does come up a lot, is with painting faces. It's very important to set the colours around the face to get an idea about how much brighter the face needs to be, or darker, or if it needs some more tone, those sorts of things. Yeah, super helpful. And sort of feeds in a little bit to some stuff earlier in the stream where we were talking about painting eyes, and whether to paint eyes first or the skin first. And I lean in the category of painting the skin first for the same reason as Trent. I think you can be a lot more messier. You can do a lot more with it, and then getting those eyes in at a later point. The skin will inform the eyes, like the hair will inform the skin, and so on and so forth.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Most of the time, people that want to get better at painting have the technical ability to do so. What they lack is the desire.
Or the ambition.
Yep. It's very easy to say, yeah, I want to become a better painter. But it's not so easy to be able to go, yep, I want to become a better painter so much that I'm going to sacrifice sitting down and watching XYZ show, XYZ computer game,
Yeah.
XYZ whatever.
Doom scrolling your phone, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Looking
it
at
might
reels
be.
on Instagram for 8 hours, just
Yeah.
whatever it is you do, stop doing that and do some painting instead.
Yeah,
You
put
will-
it first.
you will
If you want to
immediately-
be good at it, you have to put it first. It has to come first.
You'll
Like
immediately get
that's
better.
anything in life. If you want to be good or great or master something, then you gotta put it first.
Flickstar, he's a legend.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. 5 to 10 hours a day, you will get good fast painting 5 to 10 hours a day.
Yep.
As long as Trent was saying earlier, if you start to plateau or you start to hit a wall where you think, hey, hold on a minute, like, yeah, I need to, stuff's all looking a bit samey and I don't know if I'm progressing as much as I want, then that's usually an indicator that it's time to go find more knowledge.
Yep. Yeah, the old knowledge ceiling, skill ceiling is actually a hugely important piece of getting better. Because a lot of times people that they've got it back to front, they're like, I just need to learn more. It's like, no, dickhead, you need to paint more.
Yeah.
And it's only when you reach that point where you're like, oh fuck, I don't know why, but I can't seem to break through this paint barrier. I practice, I paint all the time, but I just can't seem to break through and do something I'm really proud of. That's the time. That's the moment to go and find a Patreon and that's one of the great things about the modern painting community and situation. There's so many great resources available at your fingertips. You don't even need to go to a class and go somewhere else. You can sit down in your house and pick up a fantastic world-class painter's guidance and tutelage for like $10 a month.
Yeah, or even that, or joining a community is really good as well. That's always a great way to do it too. I place high value on mentors and people who are interested in helping other people get better from their vantage point of being pretty good at stuff. And I think that's one of the most rewarding parts of the journey for both the person teaching and the person being taught. So,
G'day, can't Joe? Sounds like you got all the tools, mate, ready to go.
just a bit of confirmation, eh? Sometimes that's all it is as well. Just getting told you're in the right place, keep going.
Let's go with orange, you reckon, Darren? Alright. Fucking crazy guy. Don't trust me, mate. I don't trust me some of the times I do things. I'm like, why did you do that? Just
Sometimes you do.
just stop doing that, Darren.
This looks like it's going to be an absolute dream to paint.
Oh, mate. Well, I've been sitting here for 3 hours doing this guy, and it has just been an absolute fucking breeze. Like, nothing has felt difficult. The lines are just fucking sublime. Like, there's just...
It's always the lines with the Spira, isn't it? It's
just the shapes, man.
He just knows. Yeah.
He just gets them.
You want to be a name to watch, not there yet, but you're on the up.
I feel the same way, pal.
Join us on the mountain. We're all climbing it together, and we're all at different different parts of it. If we can give you a hand up, we shall. If you can give us a hand up,
We'll
then
take it.
send
We'll
it back.
take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that colour, but that's fine.
You know, of all the ones that have been painted of this as well, I think this is the first green one, and that tells you a lot about the way people think, doesn't it?
Yeah, do you reckon people have got just like overthought this one and been like,
It's simple, stupid. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like,
because it's like, it's a goblin. Like, let's just paint the guy green. He looks fucking mad.
yeah.
Because he's a fucking goblin. Let's do it. Ah, indeed. I am charismatic. That is a fact. My mum tells me that all the time. Thanks, Mum.
Sue, isn't it? That's your mum's
It's a wall. We call it wall.
Well, keeping you
Yeah.
grounded, mate.
You know, she's never once come watch my stream. My
No, I mean she's had a hard wire to it live for all her life, for all
That's
your
true.
life, mate. So.
That's true. My fucking nana got on here once. My nana and my auntie were on here, and they were like, "Oh, Trini boy." It's like, hey. They had a great time for the 6 minutes they were on. But my mum hasn't made the trip.
I think if we can get the interview process up and running for Crimson Brush and maybe get a stream out and start broadcasting, you know, some Australian stuff, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the plan at this stage, mate. Is we'll try and set up the stream, and you know, maybe that can be Ben's contribution.
Yeah.
Can help me with that on the weekend. I don't need too much assistance, mate. It's been relatively easy to run on the day, and you know, just fun. The real hard work's like actually what David does. He takes the photos on the weekend, and I go home.
Many hands, though. Many hands.
Indeed, indeed.
Leaning into some dags that just came out of nowhere. Just feeling it.
Oh, g'day, Jagger Mage. Yeah, just why not? We'll clean it up a bit when it's all blocked out. Yeah. I'm starting to get into this backlighting idea.
Yeah.
Like some.
He's actually some. You've already set up some really nice colours to keep many colours open.
Yeah.
Like he's quite neutral all the way through right now. So you're gonna be able to choose pretty much like. You can have a magenta. You could have, you know, a more traditional like cave glow. You know, some lights or torches in a cave. You could have a blue lighter. You could have a green. Like there's heaps. You could have red. I know you're fond of a red light.
I was tending towards red. I was like, well, how good would this guy look with like a red light from behind? You know, and you tilt it and you've got this red glow coming through from here. Yeah. That could be cool.
I took you up on some piece advice. You know that the Cursed City small little jewel that I did.
Yeah.
I covered it in snow and hit the red light from the bottom.
Can't go wrong, mate.
Yeah, I think it looks better for a doomed piece that was just a schmozzle from the start. I think it's topped it off nicely for just taking a bit of inspo from here, there, and everywhere.
Thank you, Yaga Mage. I would love to say that we went in with a magnificent concrete plan and everything's come together exactly as intended. It is not what happened. We just had a bit of luck. Some things worked.
I'm getting plenty of updates from Miniature Den right now saying he's on.
Oh, Mini Den's on?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's his Discord popping off right now.
Might have to raid him. I haven't raided him for a while.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah, I was doing most of this red on the on this historicals chat off memory from the Katachi
Yeah.
class, and then I went back and I was trying to find a VOD or something. I couldn't find anything. Granted, I didn't really look hard enough, but I would love to track that down and use that. That was super informative, and a completely different take on how to do it. So
Eye-opening.
yeah, very much so.
Indeed, as would all of us. Carneo.
Oh, he's doing Galahad.
I did see that picture actually. Yeah, I've really enjoyed his progress this year, old Mini Den.
Yeah, he took some leaps this year, I think.
Yeah, big leaps this year. Big leaps, and it's cool. You know, you love to see a guy passionate about what he's doing, improving. It's awesome.
I am speaking of Big Child. I am very, very jazzed for the next model in the Songs of War range.
The sorceress.
Yeah.
She does look good.
Do you think you'll paint that one?
I'd say it's probably a strong possibility. The Songs of War busts have been right up my alley for the most part.
Have you got Alana on the way?
Haven't yet. Haven't ordered a no. Mate, interesting question. I haven't actually ever messed around with oils. I bought some to do that, and then I just never got around to doing it. So I hope to at some point. But yeah, probably not anytime soon. One thing I will say is I don't feel like I've mastered acrylics yet, so it's usually a good indicator that you shouldn't start something until you feel like you can do everything.
I'm quite fond of picking up Taiga the Wild.
Is that because you watched the
Other way, I saw it first and was really, really fond of the model. I saw someone else painting it a little while back, and that made me even more fond of it. And then watching
Rodrigo.
the videos for it was Rodrigo was really cool as well.
He's a good painter, eh?
He is. And you know what? Recently, I've just sort of because I've only just sort of started with Instagram and stuff like that. But recently, I've just been it's become far more apparent to me how many great painters there are
that you don't know about.
Truly fantastic painters that are out there that I don't know about, or just don't have a name to follow, quotation marks, that are it's just throw a dart at a dartboard and it could be any of them.
Yeah.
They're just phenomenal.
And 90% of them are Spanish.
True. That's nice. Frog Jim, a nice little gift to yourself. Did you order Merlin and Arthur? Frog Jim? Yeah, so that one, Tago, that's a one I need to get sooner rather than later. I would like to push that all the way up the list.
Yeah, good figure.
Because I think for myself, we're getting close to the end of the year, and so it's time to start looking at some 2022 goals. And I think painting some 75 mil stuff is probably pretty important for myself to do. So
You painted any
um,
75s?
I have only painted at 54 and 90. I've not painted any 75s yet.
What 90 did you do?
I did the FER Crusader. I think it was the first thing I ever showed on your stream to get some feedback from. He had like the shield. It had like a huge white creamy cross with like blood spatters all over it and stuff.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I gave you pretty good raps on that.
You did give me good raps on that. I asked for some feedback, and you said I don't really have any feedback for you, just some stylistic choices. And that was probably like I read into that it was probably that I chose to do true metals, and you probably were like, this could have been a good one for non-metals.
Oh, I love non-metallic metals and what they challenge you to do when you're thinking about them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the only 90 I've done, and then the only 54 stuff I've done. I just recently did the one of the halflings from Printable Scenery, and then I did one of the cat warriors from Blood Carrot Knights. I did that little Lannister cat. But yeah, everything else has been in 32, 28 heroic or bust.
It's another one of those like transitions. The first time you do a 75, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm expecting it. The 90, because the 90 was I did before I did anything. That was the very first, I guess, what we'll say, display model. Very first one. Well, no, I did do the Darren Latham guy that he did for the Lord of Blights, but that was the first like large scale / true display thing that I'd done, and I was pretty thankful that I chose like a pretty straightforward colour scheme for the Crusade.
Yeah.
Being black and silver. But yeah, I'm expecting it to be quite a jump. It's been quite intimidating thinking about it actually. About doing 75, but no, we'll get over it. Have you got any for next year, mate? Well, you've got 3 big ones really, right? You've got the three dios.
Yeah. I'm a fuckwit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I can't really visualize my energy levels at this point. You know, like how I'm going to find a way to push through 3 of those fucking dioramas, but I'm hoping I will find a way. I mean, if I get to a point after the first one or the second one where I'm like, yep, that's it, that's fine, we'll just call it a day, and so put that on the back burner for another time. Picardo, thank you for following. Oh, I must be getting close to 2k actually. 2k followers now that I think about it.
On Twitch?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, not bad for 12 months of streaming, I think. Pretty good.
Not a bad crack at all.
Alright. And thanks, mate. Thanks, Wilson. Hey, talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Yeah, it is just about time for Big Deno to pack up shop, find some glorious human to raid, and then trundle off to bed.
Oh, we've got a question. Yeah, man. I'm sure we can always squeeze in some time for some feedback.
We would love to do some feedback, mate.
Oh, Wilson, love it.
Wilson.
It always, every time, it reminds me of that ad that we had. You know, that footy ad with the lozenges.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Wilson.
Goodbye, Wilson. Let's find some white for this fucking thing. Just feel like a bit of white might help this. No, I was wrong.
This is super cute.
Yeah, look, mate. I reckon I've lost a fair crack in the last year and a half. Thanks, Picardo. The stress levels this year and a half have been just cranked. So I have gone back a little bit. I normally do shave. I just haven't had a haircut in about probably 2 months, so I am due. I don't reckon I'm going to go like the whole way bald, but if I do, mate, I could pull it off. See you, Wilson. Wilson! Alright, we've got the diorama. It's loaded up. I just decided to do something stupid, so I've got to fucking try and fix it. Oh yeah. I think I'd be doing my best to carry it as well as you do, mate. So here we go. This is Wavies. Yeah. And
Jason Statham, that is generous.
yeah. Yeah, a taller Jason Statham. I think that's a fair shout. We'll cop that one. How cool.
It's super cool, isn't it?
How cool.
The first two things that I find like immediately is I love when people find ways to incorporate real world stuff. Yeah, real world stuff into miniature painting and it not look jarring or out of place. So for that, you have my applause. Looks great.
Yeah, I love the little story. I'll give you some. I won't say harsh criticism. I'll give you some fair criticism. I really think it's noticeable. Hey, Frog Jim, when you just grab the old plants, static grass clumpos, and stick them to the base. Like, to me, you can see here, you've got 3 different colours of the old static grass. This particular angle shows it off well. They don't feel right. They don't feel like they belong in the same situation. You know, you don't see often plants completely different colours because they're all getting sort of the same amount of water, the same amount of sunlight, so they have a similar tone. So what it feels like to me is that the base has these things that stand out as not a part of the same environment. The 2 little dudes, they're cool. Like they fit in together. You know, the little the bits from sewing and stuff fit in fine. You know, particularly with the blue that you've done on the back cape here, and you know the cheese, the multi blue cheese. You know, those all feel like one piece. But then you've got this base where you've got a big clump of brown and then lots of erratic colours. And for me, you could do more, whether you use an airbrush, whether you use some washes to tone all the colours down, or pigments, so that they feel like they're part of the same environment. That is probably my biggest criticism and only criticism of the piece, because it's pretty cool. Bucks, anything to add? And Frog Jim?
Yeah. I've got two little things. I think for the base itself, like the front of it looks, although there's a lot of surface texture, it's kind of, in a way, I think lacking a little bit more of that rocky texture. So for me, like, I'd like to see like a bit more of that, maybe like sort of chiseling its way up to where they are. And then I think that also gives you more, opportunity to place some of those tufts in together. Smashing them together like Trent said, to get a bit more color in there. To get a bit more harmony in there, rather than colour between those two. As it kind of just looks like it tapers off. Maybe that's because also you've got the wheelbarrow there though, so you do need a bit of space to work with for that. But yeah, that's it for me.
Good one.
Cool stuff, man.
Yeah, cool piece. It's cool to see little dioramas, man. Like,
yeah.
If you keep painting and having fun doing stuff like that, mate, winning at life.
Yeah.
Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save you from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Alright. Special. Bucks, here we go. You're choosing for me right now. Samurai Green.
Oh.
Samurai Green. Kartachi Red.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Move the Samurai Green out of the picture now, because we're stopping at Kartachi Red.
Or.
Yep.
Magic Blue.
Oh.
Which one are we glowing from behind right now with an airbrush? It's happening right now.
We are going to do Kartachi red.
Red. We're going for the red glow. Wow.
Yeah.
What an exciting
Samurai
time.
green is going to be probably too close to what we've done already. The blue will be a little bit, same. We need some contrast. The red's going to give. We need some color contrast, and we're going to get that off the red.
Here it is, Kartachi red. Let's go.
We cut all of those out. Flip, they're all gone. Removed. And at this point now, being that I'm going to take a lead from Trent, so I'll claim this one as, yeah. Is that right, mate?
Yep,
My
that's
choice.
yours, mate. That's yours. That's yours. This is all your figure. You've achieved this yourself.
Yeah.
No, look, Flick, the answer is, mate, we're not here to fuck spiders. Let's just go.
No, we certainly are.
Let's just fucking go. So we want to get a little bit coming forward. And we definitely want a little bit on there.
Yeah.
Maybe a smidge there. Bit underneath.
Yeah, a little bit underneath for that ball. Maybe like the the bludgeon. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit under there. Maybe even a little bit of this gear going on.
What about catching the backside of those two little, you see the two little, there we go. Yeah, he's cooking with gas.
Oh, shit! Alright. I'm sort of cool with that. Let's just get a little bit of reflective stuff happening there. A little bit up here. Alright, and now... Flick, come on, mate. The reason I don't do that is because I don't know what to do. I've got no idea. This, I know what I'm doing, mate. This is my bread and butter. This is my wheelhouse. That's a good piece of advice, Hados Barbados. I agree with you. All right, we're gonna do a harmonising glaze with a red ink. This is not something I normally do, but look, we're living dangerously.
Red ink. You know who's got a really nice red ink? Liquitex has got a fantastic red ink. Really good. What have you got there?
I've just got the intensity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are. Yeah, that's right. I remember you saying you quite like the intensities.
Yeah. Well, I'm going like quite a lot of intensity here. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, look, we'll figure it out. This is just going to crank up the intensity of those joins.
We're going to 11 on it.
Yeah.
Was it one of the Angel brothers from that Stallone Judge Dredd where he says, "I'm going to go to 5 on you," and he dials up his head? That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah. All right, cool. And I'm confident that is a really, really good decision.
Indeed.
Probably. And if it's not, well, we'll just fix it.
We're a different breed. We sure are.
Alrighty, last paintbrush touching my model for tonight is just the nose. See if we can get the nose to be the right level of intensity.
Yeah, wait. If we well, there's speaking of that, there's a particular event that we'll be doing at Crimson Brush, which sort of is all about the speed painting element.
Indeed.
The results should be pretty good. Because I think there's a camp of Australians that are all about speed and intensity and just going for it, and then there's the more traditional, more methodical camp as well.
Then there's the piss week camp.
I wouldn't know about that one, mate. Not a member.
Neither am I. Fucking piss week camp. Get in. This has been a fun paint job tonight, I'll tell you what.
It has.
Can't go wrong with a painter. You just can't.
You can't. You
just cannot go wrong.
You know, that's probably one of the big takeaways for everyone watching. If you haven't painted a Lucas Pena sculpt, do yourself a favour. Treat yourself this Christmas.
Treat yourself.
This Christmas, you'll love it. You'll enjoy it. It'll be great fun. It may cost you a subscription to almost every single model from here on out that he makes, but what happens if you own 4 and haven't painted 1? Well, there are many people out there who collect Penas and haven't painted them.
Yeah. And those people are an embarrassment to their families and should be ashamed of themselves, so...
if you want to pass them on to me, I will happily take them off your hands and I will slap some paint on them.
Yeah, do yourself a favour. Just get shit done. Like, get amongst it.
Yeah.
The big Deno approach is just fucking stop fucking about. Oh, which one are you sending away? It's not the wise woman, is it? I changed my mind about that being the last thing I painted because I'm excited about it.
Oh, Goblin King.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The JFDI or JFDIC, just fucking do it, or just fucking do it with the C-bomb at the end of it. We won't defile the stream with that word.
I've been doing my best to avoid defiling the stream.
I've only ever heard it one time.
I've said it one time on stream,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the midst of a rant and I was pumped about something and I was like, this, and I regretted it. I was like, I forgot I was trying to avoid saying that on stream. But look, yeah, we do our best, friends. We do our best, but sometimes we're not our best versions of ourselves. All I can say is we learn from that experience.
We can, but it requires high restraint. Very high restraint.
That's another reason I've lost my hair, mate, because I've been avoiding saying the C-bomb for the last fucking year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, Rumble, you got to embrace the JFDIC, mate. It's a way of life out here. What's the worst that can happen, mate? What's the worst that can happen? You don't paint a good model? That's all right.
There's always the next one.
Indeed.
Or the one after that. Or you can strip that one and start again if you're really piss weak.
Hey.
Hey.
Sometimes stripping is quite a cathartic process. I've only stripped 3 models. And if you were ousting me there in front of the chat, throwing me under the bus,
I was indeed, and I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, yeah. You know what though? The last one that I did, the Perion that I stripped, I don't know. It was such a cathartic approach and left me feeling great. And the fact that I stripped it with only literally one thing left to paint on it, I don't know what it was, but I was quite empowered by it. I was quite empowered. I thought, well, the next time I choose to paint Perion, I think she'll go swimmingly. And it sort of helped with that letting go part. You know, leaning into that thing we've talked about where it's like, you know, moving on some of your pieces to people who are interested in them and want them is a really important part for display painting and growing in display painting. I think that was a sort of a little bit of a taste of that.
Yeah. All right. I think we should call it. Oh, actually, no. I just want to do the eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's cool little work so far, and seeing the eyes done will help.
I hope you give him very sinister eyes because he's actually quite a grumpy little fuck.
Na 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 na. Adelaide Test match tomorrow.
It is. Yeah, Miniature Den is, Luca is kicking on right now. Oh!
What did I inspire you with? Something magnificent, no doubt. Yes. Yes.
JFDIC.
And a spider.
Love it.
You legend. That's what you need to be channeling, mate, at all times. Just live and breathe.
It is a great one. The JFDI comes from a place that we both worked at some point. Exists to this day. It's a K-Man special, that one.
Yup.
I'm definitely going to have to acquire the Zabarat Trophy Hunters.
Yeah, you love it.
Yeah, they've been in my face too many times now. You know how like just by osmosis sometimes you just get done in. You're just like, yeah, that's it. That's for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're right up my alley. I wouldn't wonder when has Miniac has his Kickstarter started yet, or even been fully announced or viewed yet?
No. He's supposed to be sending me those wood elves. He better fucking send them to me, mate. I'll be chewing if he didn't. You fucker. No, I wouldn't really, but I was pumping to paint them. They look mad.
They do. Did you get Diagrad stuff as well?
Yeah.
You haven't done that yet, have you?
No.
That's pretty spicy. Did you get the bust of the one that Andy did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet fucking knew it.
That's my jam.
Did you get the wolf chick too?
Nah, didn't get her. I got the sword dude. I wish I got the blind archer, but I felt like I'd done a lot of archers, but I regret not getting it. I just got the two, but I think I'll probably end up getting them more later.
Oh, Broadside. I haven't seen him in the chat in a while.
Yeah, he's been up in Ipswich, mate. It's tough life up there. Down there. Yeah, no, I am actually about to stop, mate. I'm just...
He's in a vibe.
I'm just killing it, man. I'm just like having the best fun painting this model. So, you know, sometimes you're just feeling it. When you're feeling it, just keep on painting, mate.
Yeah, the metal's singing right now. I don't think I've said anything about the metallics, but they're... I mean, really backs up the conversation earlier about the importance of light placement for non-metal metallic.
Mm-hmm. All right, I reckon we'll call him for the night there. Give him a varnish and take a photo. He looks pretty cool. This is still a work in progress, but
Yeah.
well, see if we can get a good looking angle from that for a photo from that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. What do we got? What do you think for his little mate? Is he going to be green as well?
At this point, I'm thinking about cutting him off.
Yeah. Well, that's lying, because you've been thinking about cutting him off since day one, haven't you?
like the owl, mate. You remember that fucking owl? And I was like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm fucking done with this owl. The little fucking frog jumping out of the thing. Nah, fuck this frog. I'm out. You weren't around for that, but I was painting the last Spira with the cauldron, and there was a frog jumping out of it. And I tried painting it twice, and I just realised I just hate this frog. I don't want to paint it. And so I just stopped. I just grabbed out the snippers and snipped it off. Took about 4 seconds. People just went.
Yeah. The curse of Spira critters.
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could paint a goblin. I know not everybody can paint a goblin like me. Yeah, probably a couple of little problems at the moment with the values across the piece. I think we're losing the chainmail a little bit, so we're not done yet, but and yeah, we probably need to incorporate more of the orange, like finish off the bronze orangey bits a little bit more as well, because they're not anywhere near good enough for my liking so far. But yeah, great little model to paint, friends. It's nice to paint a bust after you've done a couple of figures for a while. I'm back on Sunday morning. American time, it's in the Saturday afternoon. Australians, it's from about 9 a.m. No, I usually start about 7 actually, but about 8 a.m. for most. Both Caneo. So I use a lot of different paints, different manufacturers of paints. And what you find when you have those different manufacturers is that the colours will often read differently, because some will be a satin finish or a glossy finish, and some will be really matte. And so you get this different thing, and it's, you know, a couple of the other painters actually use that and try to use that as a strength. You know, they have like glossy areas intentionally and matte areas intentionally. I like to have everything have a consistent feel. I feel like it reads a little bit better for me. So there we go. That's tonight's work, friends, on this wonderful goblin from Spira Mirabilis. And we shall probably finish him on Sunday, maybe. Thanks for joining me, Buxo.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Let's find someone we can raid, and I think it will be Mini Den, because we haven't raided him for a little while. Thanks, Flick.
Yeah, cheers, chat.
Fix my Arworth for me, bro. Well, raid Mini Den, great people. It's wonderful to see you all. I'll see you again on Sunday if you join me, and if not, Hope you have a wonderful week. Wheel of Time episode 7 comes out on Friday. Get hype. Spider-Man, Friday. Boom. Let's go. All right, peace. See you, friends. Mini Dan, we're off.
What's he working on? Oh, that salamander.